Hi everybody, I'm Beebs Kelly. Welcome back to another fashion edition. Today I want to look at the rest of Meghan Markle's outfit choices from her trip to Australia with Harry. In typical Meghan Markle style, she had at least 3 outfit changes per day, even the day that she was doing private business and filmed the MasterChef thing. She even changed her outfit that day between filming that and going to this Nexus Summit thing that, again, I'm not even sure they really fully belong there, but regardless, multiple outfit changes every single day is a PR tactic to make it look like a trip was longer, more active, and more significant than it really was. By having the same outfit across 3 or 4 different events each day and just changing the outfit for like switching from daytime to evening events, wouldn't provide with as big of a portfolio for what this trip really was about, which was getting publicity for their Archwell philanthropic arm. A huge goal of this trip, it has become clear, was to get lots and lots of photos to make it look like they have been very, very busy maintaining this humanitarian image. And that's in part obvious because of the frequent outfit changes. But let's pick up where we left off when Meghan wore this casual outfit while she and Harry took a nature walk. This obviously is not a great outfit in and of itself, but the main problem with it is actually this coat. Her big baggy coats always feel overwhelming, ill-fitting, and therefore messy, especially in this trench style. Trench coats look best when they are very well tailored and fitted to you perfectly. Then they can look chic and nice. They don't get all super wrinkly, and they can have a very stylish element to it. They really can. But when they're baggy and loose like this, it's not a relaxed vibe. No, it's messy and it looks like you bought the wrong size. And that's exactly what we have here. It's not really playing very nicely with the jeans and the t-shirt. However, I do think the sneakers, jeans, and t-shirt make sense for this activity. It's a nature walk. She should be wearing tennis shoes. She should be looking more casual. I wonder how much arguing had to happen in order for her to accept that she had to wear tennis shoes, because she almost never does. She really, really likes wearing high heels and looking, I guess, a little bit more tall, I guess, next to Harry. I'm not sure. But anyway, the flare on these jeans isn't my personal favorite, but the positive about these jeans is that they are not skinny jeans, and they are also not super baggy like barrel jeans or really, really wide leg. By choosing jeans that have a little bit of room throughout the thigh and knee, even though the flare can look a little dorky sometimes, it balances her proportions so much more because she does have thin and lanky limbs and a shorter torso, meaning her legs in skinny jeans, for example, can look exceptionally thin and throw her balance off a little bit. So visually, this choice of jean was better than some of the previous and does add a little bit more balance to her. The rise of the jeans is maybe a little bit high. The rise of the jeans looks to be mid-rise, and for Meghan Markle with her shorter torso, the rule is no high rise. So besides the coat, I would say this outfit is fairly appropriate and fairly okay. Even though it still doesn't look like super great, I think it's okay. With the jacket, it's not. It's a mess with the jacket on. Lose the messy trench coat, and this outfit is a million miles better than this. So let's see what we can do with edits on this outfit. First, I lowered the rise of the jeans just a tad to help elongate the visual of her torso a little bit more. But the biggest fix is the coat. To change this messy, overwhelming trench that just looks silly does wonders. This coat looks so much better in part because it's not so long, which the length of the trench coat doesn't just look overwhelming, it can also look frumpy or dumpy too. This jacket is not just shorter, it's the correct length for Meghan because it hits at the top of the thigh, further balancing her short torso. It's well fitted everywhere, too, so it's not looking overwhelming or anything. The sleeves aren't baggy, it's not eating her hands, the shoulder doesn't droop. It's overall a coat that actually fits and looks so much better. It's still a similar vibe to what she wore. It's got her beige energy, but it's just the right type of coat and the right fit to help her proportions and enhance her look rather than just be like baggy and messy like the trench coat. What do you guys think of this edit? The next day, she showed up in a better outfit than usual. I know a lot of people online are saying it looks like a tent, but hear me out. This shift dress that she wore to this organization focused on youth resilience and mental health based in Melbourne is blending so many of her style concerns. We have to give credit where credit's due. Because of her shorter torso and her lack of a well-defined waist with that more boxy torso, a shift dress that skims over the torso is exactly the right move for blending those two style concerns. And the short torso and lack of a defined waist are two style concerns that Meghan Markle usually ignores completely in outfits like these, where she adds a lot of bulk and visual weight and draws the eye exactly to her torso. Here, you are not resting on her torso at all, so it is a hugely beneficial styling move for her in terms of blending and addressing those two style concerns. It also provides some balance to her overall body shape. Meghan being an inverted triangle, she's only categorized as such because her widest point is her shoulder line. And with this particular shift dress, as you can see, the hemline around the bottom of the dress is very well balanced to her shoulder line here. Very, very nice in terms of blending that style concern as well. The downside is that her arms are out here. Most shift dresses are tank top style, and we know how much Meghan Markle loves having her arms out. But I do appreciate that she went for black tights in this instance. Yes, it does make her legs look more skinny and more twiggy than they are, more lanky, but them being black means they are not catching the eye. The eye will never draw to black tights over exposed arms or a color in your shift dress. Like in this outfit, our eyes are mostly resting on the shift dress and the arms. The legs just kind of fade away in terms of the look itself. So yes, it's not a perfect outfit, but it does blend and meet a lot of her style concerns where they are. So for that, I would say this is one of the better outfits she has worn recently just because it balances her proportions and blends those concerns so well compared to things she usually wears. I also like that this particular outfit isn't super obviously out of place to the environment. Going to an organization like this, she's not looking too fanciful and she's not looking too casual. She's kind of just right. Though you could argue that something that was a little bit more casual, like you can see Harry here, he's wearing a blue shirt that's rolled up messily, tucked in messily there in the abdomen, a little bit wrinkly, and it looks like just some jeans. So he's dressed a little more casually than she is, but I love a good dress, whether it be a shift dress or a different type. Like I can't wear shift dresses because I'm a little bit more curvy. I lean more hourglass. So my bust will make a shift dress literally look like a tent and make me look more frumpy than I am. A shift dress for Meghan makes the silhouette of the dress the focal point rather than overwhelming her because it does match her body type a little bit better. You could argue that something slightly more casual might have been nice because the black tights can read a little bit more nice, especially with the black pumps. But I really do think that this was a lot more successful than her previous stuff. I really, really do. One downside as well was when sitting. Then this dress was quite short for sitting down and getting in and out of the car and things that nature. So maybe it wasn't the most strategic in terms of the things she needed to do and accomplish that day. But overall, I think this was better than a lot of things. However, that doesn't mean it can't be improved. First, to fix this outfit, I gave it sleeves. elbow length specifically. That helps her arms look a little less long and lanky, but also isn't full-length sleeves that we know she likes to shove up. These are a really easy fix that instantly makes this not only look more balanced, but looks more professional. The sleeves are a huge improvement, but I also put her hair back into a ponytail because that helps take the outfit away from leaning evening and places it more firmly in the daytime look that's just simply an elevated day look. Also, again, it adds professionalism, especially for Meg, who tends to fiddle with her hair a lot. That's very distracting, and it can convey less confidence, less focus. It's preening behavior. So it doesn't come across well in these settings. Furthermore, opening up the face and the eyes in focus groups tests as more trustworthy than having your hair down and around your eyes. So it would actually help the Meg a lot, let's be real. And since this outfit was already teetering on the edge of looking more evening with the black tights and the pumps, making sure the hairstyle kind of pulls it back more into the daytime look would have been hugely beneficial. But I also lowered the hemline of the dress just about an inch because, again, it adds more professionalism, but also it would have been more practical for the activities of the day. To have even just an inch more coverage there would have obviously been beneficial. It doesn't take away from the look at all. It's just simply optimized to flatter her figure and balance her proportions while enhancing the polish and professionalism of the outfit. In settings like these for Meghan and for Harry, it's not just about style, it's about all the non-verbal signals that outfits send. It matters so much more when you're trying to dabble in faux royal work. And that's why, like, for example, Catherine, Princess of Wales, does such a good job with her outfits. She pays attention to all those non-verbal signals, but Meghan doesn't. So these edits make this outfit one of the best she's ever worn. But as is, it is a little stiff, it does lack some flow, it is a little bit nicer than maybe the occasion called for, than what would be ideal, but we can't completely ignore the success that it had for blending those style concerns. But let's move on to the next thing she wore that day, her next outfit change, all unnecessary, I might add, for Harry's Inter-Edge Summit. I have no idea why she would change clothes to do this. I think these were on the same day, so I don't know why she wouldn't just wear the shift dress to come listen to Harry's talk. It doesn't really make sense to me. But she wore this top and matching skirt from a Texas-based brand. It looks really messy. Obviously, as you can see here, there's folds in the skirt, there's wrinkles and bunching and too much fabric everywhere. It's overwhelming on her. And it looks messy as all get out. Very ill-fitting, very, very messy. To not even iron it is just like absurd. Come on, get it together. Her hair being up and the nude pumps are correct choices for this particular outfit. But overall, this is bulky. It looks ill-fitting and it's not very good. One positive, as you can see, the shirt comes all the way down to a lower length, almost like a tunic length top. That is going to balance her short torso, so that was a positive, but the rest of the outfit looks really bulky, really messy, and ill-fitting. Then on Friday, while in Sydney, they met with community members at Bondi Beach and then did a sailing thing for Invictus. And Meghan wore this tragedy. This shirt is huge. It's way too big. Therefore, it's wrinkly and bunchy and messy. It's adding visual weight. And then she did this really outdated tying of the shirt around the waist like people did in the 80s and 90s. Why? Why? What is happening? This is a terrible choice. The trousers or the jeans are actually okay for Meghan Markle. As you can see, they have plenty of room throughout the thigh and they're not puddling up on the ground. They have a cute vibe, actually. These pants are just fine for her. They're better than a lot of things she wears. They're suitably casual for the occasion. They're well-fitting. They're not super high-rise. They're light in color, so they're going to add more visual weight, especially with the little bit of volume that they have, the little bit of room there. They're going to add visual weight to her lower body, her legs, which helps balance her proportions overall. So that's all really, really great. But she ruined everything with this stupid shirt. Why are you wearing Harry's shirt? It's always a dead giveaway, even when a shirt is meant to be oversized, the armholes. So I always mention the seam of the shirt should be right near your shoulder. It should be right around the tip of your shoulder. With Meghan, you can see it's down lower than it should be. The seams for the armholes are way down here. It should be up here. But even for a shirt that's meant to kind of have like a relaxed look where they do purposefully place these seams a little lower, the armpit hole is not huge and gaping and long like it is on Meghan's. When the arm and the hole where the arm goes through by the armpit is just hugely massive, or it's eating your hands, then the shirt is obviously too big and it just adds bulk and is messy and blah. So she undid the work that those jeans did of balancing her proportions by adding even more volume up top with this huge shirt. Plus, on top of it all, the white stripes on the shirt are like a light white and the trousers are cream. Why could she not have just worn a normal t-shirt for the day? Or a normal knit? What is happening? Why make such a stupid choice? But yes, it ruined the outfit. It added a lot of bulk and it was just silly. She did this on Netflix one time too, where she wore a shirt tied like this. It's just nobody does that anymore. It doesn't look good. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. So let's edit this tragedy of a top that's doing nothing but adding bulk to her upper body and give her a simple fitted top. This one is not adding any visual weight or bulk to her top at all, and it has color still, which looks great on her. This option creates the perfect balance to her wider shoulder line, making her look more proportionate and her shoulders less dominant. Because the pants are cream, they are lighter than the blue, then it's going to add weight to her thin, lanky legs and minimize that heavy, dominant shoulder line. So it balances her proportions perfectly. This top also still skims over her lack of a well-defined waist, and when worn like this, out, not tucked in, not bunched up, not a French tuck, nothing. This blends her short torso too because it doesn't create a focal point of a higher waistline. Overall, this looks much more clean, polished, chic, and flattering than her original horrendous obsession with massive, messy tops. But what do you guys think? Which top do you like better? These taupe trousers are a little less voluminous throughout the thigh than like the Time 100 travesty, but they're still puddling up on the ground and too long for her. Now, I've seen some people say or ask, is this a specific style tactic of puddle pants to try to elongate her leg line? No, it is not. Now, in certain circumstances, like on the red carpet or in a fashion photo shoot or in a website's stylized advertisements for their clothing, they may go for the puddle pant look. But it does not elongate the leg, firstly, because our mind will automatically see excessive fabric puddling up and think it's messy because it's too ill-fitting. But additionally, Meghan Markle doesn't need to elongate her leg at all. She has a short torso, meaning her legs run the risk of looking too long or out of proportionally long compared to her torso. So if anything, she needs to be elongating her torso, not elongating her leg. So not only is it not a well-executed leg elongation puddle pant technique and done so in the wrong type of setting, but it's the wrong approach for Meghan Markle's body structure as well. So these trousers luckily are flat front, so they don't have all those pleats and bunches and extra fabric in the front, and these pictures are not showing an excessive amount of wrinkling down the front either. Both of those things are positives for her. They're not adding extra bulk around her belly area. However, the excessive length and the wrinkling that is coming along with that is not appealing. As far as the top goes, I like that this has a little bit of a notch neck. The sleeveless element, once again, it's getting tiresome. It's not always the appropriate choice. It's not always professional. And oftentimes it's not the most flattering for Meghan because not only are her legs leaning more lanky, so too are her arms. So always making her arms look extra long by exposing them fully with sleeveless items is not the best style strategy. But my biggest beef with this top here is that it's meant to have some sort of a tie situation, not just dangling down carelessly like this. It's clear that Meghan really thinks her fashion choices are meant to convey a more relaxed, laid back, sort of a vibe. But because her execution of that is so poor, it always just ends up reading messy, ill-fitting, and amateur when it comes to styling. Then she scooted away from that women's retreat as fast as she could and went to a rugby game with Harry. And there's not really very many good outfit pictures from this event, but we do see here she changed unnecessarily into a black mock neck tank top and some dark jeans or trousers. Maybe she's starting to listen a little bit to a stylist somewhere, somehow, or maybe she's just starting to figure it out that the huge GMPs is not always the right path forward. So across all these edited outfits, which one do you think had the biggest impact and the biggest transformative effect of the look from what Meghan wore and how she wore it to the edited look that is more optimized for her proportions and balancing her silhouette more? Looking at the trip as a whole, I would say the shift dress was probably the most successful overall in terms of just a style on Meghan Markle that met those style concerns. And we saw a few improvements, like, for example, these cream pants or jeans have a little bit more room in them. We saw suede deployed and less wrinkles overall because she opted for some dresses and some fabrics that do not show wrinkling as much. We also saw a reduction in just like wildly inappropriate options, the way she did in Nigeria and also in Colombia in part. But we still have ill-fitting, excessive wardrobe changes, foolish choices like tying a shirt like it's the 90s still, and GMPs out to play. So I don't know if 2 steps forward and 4 steps back really counts as progress, but it's something. What do you guys think? Thank you for joining me for this fashion edition. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon. Have a happy day, everybody. Bye.